Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I always got to check myself. Make sure that I have sound. Let's see. Let's go to YouTube. Hello, you guys. Hello, hello. How are you? Let me get my cameras up here. Today is the day. We will be glad and rejoice. Small content delay. Why isn't it showing me what I want to see? All right, we are going to get going because I need to get my epoxy mixed. Just want to make sure that we have sound. I don't want to hear it through a commercial. All right, we are going to today work on something that we don't normally work on live. Got my little gloves on here, and I am going to make a resin cutting board. Resin cutting board. As soon as I can see if you guys can see me, I feel like I can't. There we go. Okay, now we're good. All right. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but we are good now. So we're going to make a resin cutting board. I have my board all laid out ready. I have not mixed the resin together, so we can mix it together. How's that? I haven't mixed the resin, so we're going to mix it today. And I'm going to use 3 ounces of resin. So I'm going to, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. And I am using, this is a food safe resin by Pearl Marine, food safe. So you can eat on it. Or you can put food on it. It won't destroy your food if you get food on it, it'll be fine. And I've got our little area protected, my table protected. I even pulled out my old little cutting mat so that I could use that one instead of my new one. And when you're mixing resin, you just want to go slow so that you can not get very many air bubbles in your resin. You want it to mix together well. It says mix it 3 to 5 minutes, but I believe that 3 to 5 minutes is when you're doing a large resin project, and we're just doing a small project. So we just want to mix it until it starts to look clear. And you should take all precaution when you're making resin projects. I normally, if I'm doing a lot of resin, especially when I'm doing cups, I have a ventilator mask that I put on. I wear protective gear because resin can be very strong to breathe in. Strong chemical, it can damage your lungs. As you're mixing it, because these 2 chemicals mixing together create a pretty strong odor. So you want to make sure that you do whatever you need to do to be safe when you're mixing your resins together. I am not using a mask right now because we're on camera and it'd be hard to hear me. But if I were doing this for multiple projects, a lot of them, because I try to do resin in a lot of resin projects at one time, I would be wearing a mask. But I am just going to do this little project, 3 ounces of 1-to-1 ratio food safe epoxy here. Now, you don't have to, you saw I had a big, I think it was a 36 gallon or a gallon of resin. I do lots of projects, like I said, with resin. I make cups, I do coasters, I make pictures, all kind of stuff with resin. And so you want to, or with epoxy, which is the same thing. So you want to make sure that you don't have to have the big cup like I do. You can, or the big bottles like I can do. You can find smaller bottles at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. It's Alumilite is the resin name that you can buy individual, smaller sizes if you only need to do a small project. Hi, Katina. How are you? Okay. So we have our resin mixed together, I believe. And you do want to make sure that it's mixed together well. Go around your edges, especially in the bottom, to make sure you got all of the resin pulled up and mixed in. And it will be clear as it mixes together when your colors get together. So I am going to try to do this. I want this to be kind of a black and gold, or excuse me, black, silver, and white with a little hue of red in it. To me, Glam is black and silver. And so we're going to make this black and silver. I'm going to pour a little resin in each one of our cups because this will give us resin to mix our colors into. Because we're doing a small amount, we don't need a whole lot of glitter in each cup. And then this will give us also some leftover resin to sit on the side in case we need to do something different. And I'm also going to go really slow on the black because black will take over your project. So I'm going to put just a little bit in this one, and this will be my black. I'm doing good. I am doing good. We're getting ready to decorate this chopping board. And guess what? I'm going to give this board away at the end. This board will be a gift to whomever wins. So stay tuned to find out how to qualify. All right? Stay with me. So now, what I'm doing now is I am just putting some epoxy on the chopping board itself. And the reason I am doing that is because it will help my other epoxy when I put my colors together and put them on the board. It'll help them move onto the chopping board. Kind of gives it a sliding base. I've got my board propped up with some medicine cups underneath it so that when we pour the epoxy on, if we have any drips, it can drip off instead of sticking to the table with my board. And I keep looking in the camera because I can see where my dry spots are, like right here. There's a dry spot. And here, there's a dry spot. I'm just using an old sponge that I painted this with. So I had it sit out all night, so it's kind of dry. The sponge is hard on the end. But that's okay. For what we're doing, we can use this. I've already taped it off because taping takes a while. So I've taped it off on the front and the back, because I don't want the board to get epoxy on the back. So I've already taped it off in those places. And hopefully that will help me from having too much cleanup at the end. But you can see how the board is going to turn out. So we can protect it. And I'm just looking to make sure I have epoxy over. Okay. So, good afternoon, Janet. How are you? Good afternoon. I use a lot of wet wipes when I am doing these projects, so I'm going to keep them right here beside me so that I can wipe my hands off because I don't like to get epoxy on everything. Starting out with some Mr. Bombay, Dr. P.H. Martin Bombay Black. I'm going to put a little bit of black into my cup here. Epoxy down there. Wipe that off. I don't want epoxy on my part where I want the food at. Even though it's food safe, I still want to keep epoxy from getting on that. So I'm going to move that out the way a little bit. And just a little drop. Can you guys see this? Just a little drop of black. I am not trying to put a whole lot of black into it because the black will eat and take over your project. And that is not what I want it to be. Glam with black. I just don't want it to be overpowered with black. So we're going to go real slow on the black. And I didn't even put a lot of epoxy into it because I don't want the black to take over. So this is black, and that, look at how dark that is. Even with just that little bit, it's still very dark. And now, instead of putting another drop of black in, I'm going to just borrow some of this black and put it into the deeper level of epoxy. So now that'll be a thinner. Look at how dark that black is. I do not want that to take over. I'm worried about it already, you see? Too much black will eat your project alive. We're going to use some of our old glitter that we used to sell. Still have lots of it left. I believe this is gunmetal. Or it might be falcon. This is falcon. It's beautiful black. Mix that in my epoxy. I gave it a dark base because I want that. Oh, look at how pretty that is. Hello. Blessed and highly favored. Come on through, sis. I love that. Blessed and highly favored. Thank you. Oh, look at how pretty that black glitter is. That's going to be beautiful on there. We're rolling. We are rolling. And now I want to bring in, this is Mixative. This is a Ranger white alcohol ink. Well, it's got a bad end on it. I'm glad I caught that before we got it in our white alcohol ink. It's kind of a, doesn't really give it a whole deep depth of color. I don't know if you can see it since the base is white. It doesn't give it a big depth of color, but it will, let me see, did it mix up? Oh, there we go. It will add white to our project. What's going on here? Alright. I'm not sure if that color came out or if that was just the alcohol that came out the first time. Alright, that'll make it kind of shimmery. Can't see any of that, can you? I'm going to try to add some of this pearl, liquid pearl to it. And these you can pick up at any craft store. They're just alcohol inks. They are just alcohol inks. And I mix the two together because I want to get a nice white look on it. And then I'm going to come in with some of this iridescent glitter. This is a chunky. And we'll pour that in there to get that. I got all kinds of stuff over here that we're working. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. The white's going to be hard for you to see until I lay it onto the onto our project. But that is beautiful. Alright, and then our last I should have used this for, I'm going to pour some of this out because I don't want to use all this for the red. Let's see, our last is going to be our silver here. We're going to put this into, and I don't need to put any silver in because our base is silver. So we're just putting that, pour that glitter into that. And the more glitter you put in, the thicker it will make the epoxy. So that one thickened up really quick. I put a lot of glitter in there. Okay. Let's start spreading. Are you ready? Are we ready? Here we go. Because I don't want the black to take over, it's not a whole lot, but we will spread. And this is just per your liking to design. I'm going thin with the black. Thin to win. Thin to win. Thin to win with the black here. Alright. I'm just kind of just decorating it for, we got a long way to go, so don't give up on us yet. We got a long way to go here. Alright, we're going thin to win. Now I'm going to come in alongside of that with my glitter. And I am going to gift this. So I want to make sure that I want to do it as if it was a paid customer's gift. Sometimes if I'm making stuff for myself, I'll just be like, oh, that's fine. But since I am going to gift this away, I want it to be right. Wiping my epoxy, cleaning my mess as I go. I do not want this everywhere. So I spilled a little bit right there. Let's wipe it up. That's why I keep the wet wipes around. Alright. Now, just hold on. Don't give up yet. Don't give up. I'm going to come in with this white. Look at how chunky and white that is. Oh, you guys can't see it from there, but it is gorgeous from right here. It is gorgeous. And I didn't make quite enough of this, so we'll do some more. Let's see. Clean my hands off and bring you in a little bit. There we go. Bring you down in so you can see what's happening. I need to make a little bit more of the white because it's not quite enough. So we're going to mix up a little bit more of that mixture. Did I clean my hands? I don't want epoxy on everything. Alright, where's that? Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. My epoxy is getting warm already. As your epoxy gets warm, that's letting you know that it's starting to settle and thicken up. And so when you work with it, you kind of got to work fast. I think this one has I believe Pro Marine that I'm using right now has a 15-minute working time. Something of the sort. Okay. We're not going to put any more of that white on it. Now we're going to add together our thick, oh yeah, that's really thick now. Our silver. Look at that's almost like a paste. Look how thick that is. But when we run our heat over it, it will thin itself out. Is that bling and blare getting it, making it too, I don't know if I have you in too close where it's making it blurry on you. I hope not. Yeah, that is like a paste. That's really thick. That I put a lot of glitter in that one and it got really thick really fast, like a paste almost. Okay. We won't use any more of that. I think we got plenty of that on there, so I will dispose of that. Add a little bit of black, more black in here. So it's starting to lose the black altogether. It's moving slow. That tells you how it's gotten thick already. And it also thickens up the less amount of liquid that's available, the quicker it will thicken up as well. Let's put a few veins in it. Kind of make it look like a marble look. Okay. All right, so we have a few more colors that I wanted to add some red to it, which was my original intent. And I don't want to get too far away before we get the red on here. So let me go ahead and mix that together. Just a little light red to add some variation to the color. And I'll use this white. Just mixing a little bit of red in it. It's a thin red. I don't want it real deep. I don't want, because red will take over as well. And I just want to vein it in. See, I didn't even add much of the red yet, and it's already kind of taking it over. Okay, we're not going to do a lot of red, just a little bit. Now, I want to move this some because it's so thick. So I'm going to come in with my torch. And listen, you guys, when you, well, that's high. The torch will heaten up the epoxy. It will also help it move. It will pop any bubbles. But please be careful because epoxy is flammable. You don't want the torch to be directly on it. You want to move it fast. You don't want it to torch your tape. You don't want to melt that or paint that. So be careful. And this is really where you want to mask because the fumes will be coming up off of the epoxy as it heats up. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of move this around so that we have epoxy over the entire project, not just on the center. So I see all of this on the edge has nothing on it. So we're going to move it around, especially since we've warmed it up a little bit. It's looking gorgeous. Now, I'm going to break all of this color up by just pouring some clear epoxy on top of it. This is all personal preference. There is no right, no wrong to how you design it. All personal preference. All right, I am going to move you back out. Sorry about that. Now I am going to, these are little stones that I picked up at Joann's. I don't know the official name of them, but we're going to set them. They're like little diamonds. I'm going to sprinkle some of these on here. They're little diamonds. It's hard for you to see them, but they're in there. And I want to, they're like little diamonds. They're so cute too. I'm going to break that up right there. That looks, it's too much. I don't know, something about that white glitter and that white, I'm not digging, but I wanted to break it up a little bit. Just break it up. Just work on it until you get to the desired color or the desired design that you want. Yep. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit more red veins. Run them off. How are you guys? How we doing? Hi, Cassandra. Good to see you. We're making a chopping board today with epoxy. And keep listening because this is going to be, I'm going to give this away. And I will tell you how to qualify to get it. All right. Now there's one more. I don't want any more red, so I'm going to throw the red away. And there's one more thing that I want to do. Again, just adding some clear to it. And all this excess is going to run off the sides anyway. But there is one more thing that I would like to do. I like how this silver is looking. I'm not a big fan of the, let's see, is that too much light? There we go. We're going to mix it around a little bit. We're going to move this around a little anyway, so it will help you. Let me shut off. Is there too much light for you guys? Let me see. Maybe if I turn this light off, will that make a difference? Which light am I turning off? I'm turning that one off. How about this one? Is that too dark? How about that? Maybe I wanted the darkness so you couldn't see it. But, hold on. Because we got to move all this epoxy around now. Alright. I am going to get one more thing here. so that we can move our colors. Now, I am trying to craft my stash because I have a ton of stuff. And in lieu of throwing things away, I'm going to create and give it away. So we're going to move the epoxy. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. This is a little heat gun. We're going to move the epoxy with our heat gun here. So that helps open up the cells and, that helps heat up the epoxy a little so that we can move it around and it's not as stiff, and it has, a little movement to it. And then I shared with you that the torch helps pop any bubbles. So we'll run quickly over this with the torch to make sure that we have no bubbles in it. Because you want it to be smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. And then the last thing we're going to do to it. You're probably like, Sharon, don't do nothing else to this thing. You got enough going on. We want to take some silver paper. And I'm going to pour this silver paper. I'm going to put this inside of my epoxy. The silver, what is this paper called? I forget the name of it. But it's a metallic paper to kind of give it some metallic look to it. And we're going to put a little bit of that inside. Different places. Now, epoxy is self-leveling, so it will level itself out. We don't have to worry about that. I guess my watch or something, every time I put my arm over, it causes it to go blurry. I'm sorry. It's self-leveling, so you don't have to worry about it leveling itself out. It will do that. I am now going to let it do what it will do. I've got my colors on there. It's actually kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of the way the iridescent white is looking underneath the black, but it kind of gives us that red appearance too. So we'll just keep letting it go and see what happens. So what I'll do from here, you guys, this is going to be I always say, I thought this video would be long. It's the other ones that I think that are short that are always long. But I'm not going to put any more epoxy on it. What I'm going to do is just let this sit for a little bit. I'm going to spray some alcohol. This is alcohol, and you can see that it will cause those colors to break up even more. But I'm going to let this sit for a little bit and let it start forming and shaping up. I'll even wipe the edges off to make sure that our drips and stuff don't go too bad or get too bad. But in about a half an hour or 20 minutes, I'll come and check on it to see how it's doing. And then in probably an hour, I'll pull the tape and everything. Do you work with epoxy? Epoxy is, I think it's fun. I like it myself. So when I pull the tape, my nose is itching, it will have a totally different look because right now we see it with all the green showing and all that. That won't happen. Oh, and let me say this. If you use the alcohol like I just did, you want to make sure that the alcohol is completely evaporated before you torch it anymore if you decide to torch it, because that will start a fire. I know that firsthand. I've done it. I've had stuff blazing on me. So have water by or have something nearby that you can utilize if you catch anything on fire. Just saying from experience. Just saying from experience, y'all. Just saying from experience. All right, I'm going to get me a fresh pair of gloves on here. Because I don't want to touch my stuff. So, what I am going to do, how do you qualify to win? How do you qualify to win? Our video is 40 minutes. I am going to post this video up, and in the comments on the video, the comment section on the video, I want you to comment chopping board. Put the words chopping board, and then next Sunday we will draw a winner for this chopping board. So all you have to do is not on the live, but on the comments of the video when it goes post up, put the word chopping board, and I will draw a name, and the individual whose name is drawn will be the one who will win this chopping board. And if you want a name added to it, like your own little personal family name, we can absolutely put that across here if that's something that the winner would want to have. Now we're going downhill. Did you see how that epoxy was leveling out going downhill? So that must mean that I am uphill or going that direction. So I'm going to put a little bit of elevation underneath that so that it won't, I don't want it to go that direction. If my epoxy is going to come off, I want it to come off going toward me. So let's elevate this a little bit. There we go. Let it run this way instead of running that way. Run off this way. If you're going to run this way. Alright. Because I don't want it to run past my tape, which is why I have the tape there. If it runs, I want it to run the southern direction or toward me here and not off of my board there. I don't want any of that messed up. All of that is going to be to place your food on it. We did use food safe epoxy, so anyone could use this for eating or showcasing food. It doesn't have to, you can, it's actually usable. It's actually usable. So comment on the live. The box letters. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Let me show you that. Comment on the live chopping board. And you can, or after the live, comment in the comment section chopping board, and you can qualify to win the chopping board. Let me put this stuff away, and I will show you how that came out. Cassandra, I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that question. Hold on 1 minute. How are you guys doing? I don't want to get this epoxy everywhere. Hold on. I'm cleaning up. Everybody clean up, clean up. Okay. I'm going to move this out of the way, then I can show you how those turned out so that I don't get epoxy on my stuff. Let me get this out of the way. Bear with me. Okay. this. All right. Here are the letters that I have done so far. Make sure. Nope. Hold on a minute. I want to show you these letters. I figured out what I was doing wrong. Somebody also commented in the after I figured out what I was doing wrong, I went back and one of the subscribers for that night that were watching commented the same thing that I figured out to fix the problem. And so I was able to get them done and fixed for the ones that I worked on. And I have a little bit more time. So I have 6 of the 18 completed. 2 of the letters that they have completed. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have epoxy on my hand so I can show it to you. All right. That's the S. And that's the C. That's how they are coming thus far. What do you think? And I have a little piece here where you can clip and take it off so that it's not, see that little thumb section? So you can take them off and then you'll put the candy inside of there and they are all set to go. Yep. And if I can get it back together. But yeah, that's how they're coming out pretty good. Now that I've got it figured out, mastered down, it will be great. And then this is the C. And so I had 4 C's, 2 S's. I thought I had 3 S's. I only have 2 S's. And then every other letter from there is an unduplicated letter. So R, L, B, W, A, D. No more duplicated letters. So this is how it looks for her Valentine's Day party. And I guess the thought is that they'll have each one of these at the person's seat with a name tag, and it's going to be cool. So that's it. Simple and easy. And simple and easy for us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, my loves. That's all we have for today. Look at that. We ended 45 minutes early, and it could have been less than that. But I wanted to show you how our Friday project turned out. So there you go. If you are interested in winning the chopping board, not on the live, but after the live goes off and I post the video up, go into the comment section and type the words, chopping board. That means you saw this video all the way through and you will be able to be entered into the drawing next week on Sunday at 1. We will pull out the name of the individual who won the chopping board. Y'all know I'm all over this water. It's not a sponsored video, but I love this water. I don't know why. I drink them like pop now. All right. How we doing? Any other questions, comments, concerns? Talk to you, girl. I'm here for you. If nothing, then I will see you maybe one day this week. I got a lot of crafting to do, so I might turn the camera on and just let it roll and we can talk while we're crafting. Or if not, then definitely on Sunday. Until then, stay classy. See you in the next video. Bye, y'all.